The Moscow City Council expressed frustration with Latah County leadership Monday over the recent news that the county jail may be at risk of closing.
I think this is bad leadership that we're seeing from the county,
said Councilor Drew Davis. Those are the lines the Moscow Pullman Daily used to open their article on the Monday night City Council meeting, and, they're not wrong. But
my cheese is so grilled about this.
I'm just dreadfully disappointed by this mess.
They flat out ignored the largest city in the county.
This is a very strange time for this to have happened.
It's very frustrating.
I'm really frustrated that there's clearly some politicking going on.
We probably won't know about it because we're not informed.
It shouldn't even have come to this.
How's it going, y'all? Aiden Anderson here with the Moscow Minutes. I've been watching Moscow City Council meetings for a while now, and I have not seen the council become so uniformly angry at a situation until now. We'll get into the details in a second. Let's go through the rest of the meeting first. The mayor began by reading a proclamation for Domestic Violence Action Month, and there were a couple public comments as well. Kent Salisbury spoke on a number of different topics, particularly about the new Home Depot construction as it related to trash pickup. Roger Rowley got up to speak about Ordinance 2019-07 and some concerns he had, but was told by city staff and the mayor that he would need to hold his peace because the subject matter he wished to speak on was currently under judicial review. This was followed by the annual report from the Moscow Farmers Market Commission, led by Commission Chair Jamie Hill. Jamie spoke on the market's past year of activities, including the fact that this year's market had 158 vendors on the roster, which is 32 up from last year. She also mentioned the market's coming costume contest and the fact that she is not seeking reappointment as the chair of the commission. Next up, a procurement agreement for the Advanced Water Metering Infrastructure Project. The city is working on updating their water metering systems across the board. Evan Timar of city staff presented on the new metering system, which collects real-time data on water meters without the need for manual drive-by checks. The project will likely take place in 2 phases over the next 7 years, but the focus of this meeting was the company that would provide the metering systems. After some research, the city found that German company Zenner was substantially cheaper than the competing options. After some discussions about the project at large, the council unanimously approved the agreement with Zenner for the metering systems. Following that, Scott Bontrager presented on the bids for an influent pump station upgrade for the city's water reclamation facility. As part of a larger treatment plant upgrade, 3 screw pumps need to be replaced. The city received bids from 4 companies, with the lowest being from Apollo Inc. for $1,985,000, with a 5-year extended warranty for $59,000. This being the lowest bid, the city council voted unanimously to approve it. After all of that, the council had their discussion on the potential closure of the Latah County Jail. Hoo boy. Now, we covered elements of the county's discussion of this issue in a previous video. I'll go through those briefly. A couple weeks ago, the county commissioners held a discussion with the sheriff's department and staff about the possible closure of the county jail, which was related to certain repairs and renovations that needed to be done in order to remain compliant with state code after some recent inspection. Key repairs mentioned included the fire suppression system, which encompasses the whole county courthouse as well as the jail, and security doors, which alone could be hundreds of thousands of dollars to repair. The county discussed the possibility of closing the jail during construction to address the current facility deficiencies, as well as other possible actions. Now, at the city meeting, Bill Belknap and the city council discussed the implications for Moscow if, in fact, the county decides to close the jail. Belknap provided a summary of the city's perspective. It was apparently the city of Moscow who provided the fire inspection that recommended the improvements which the sheriff listed, and which are being referenced as reasons why the county might close the jail. Now, if the county were to close the jail, the city police would be compelled to transport their inmates to Nez Perce County. This would put a strain on city police, as the city sometimes keeps only the minimum of 3 officers on shift at a time, and city police staff are generally pretty strained anyway. At least 1 officer would be needed for transport if the jail closes, which would exacerbate this problem. Transport for inmates could cost the city up to $30,000 per year, and if the city is forced to implement the longer-term plan of hiring additional officers, it could end up costing an additional $375,000 per year. Beyond these issues, Belknap indicated that the county may be exaggerating the scope of the problem at hand, and that the issues which the city brought up in their fire inspection may be more easily addressed. At any rate, he suggested that a solution which covers the bases for the city while also encouraging the county to keep the jail open would be recommended. This wasn't an action item, so no voting was necessary. There was, however, a lot of talk from the council. It might be best if you just hear it straight from them.
I mean, it does sound a little bit like it got overblown, but it's made me think about all these things. So I just wanted to throw a few things out there. I understand that even if the jail closes, they'll still have a day holding facility so that people can, if people are up here for court or if they're arrested and released, they can not have to go down to Nez Perce. And I also think that since it's the county's obligation to provide a jail, like if they don't provide a jail, then I think that we need to look at the potential of cost sharing the officers that would be transporting people down to the Nez Perce County Jail. So I think that one way or the other, if the jail does close, we need to look at how to work with the county to share the obligations, because it is, under code, their obligation to provide a jail, not ours.
I hear you, Julia. I don't even want to talk about what the cost sharing looks like. My cheese is so grilled about this because I take issue with what seems to be complete cop out, pun intended, I guess, claiming that the city is telling the county that the jail has to close. I'm really having a hard time with this. We are too small of a community. We know the county, we know the city budgets operate on a shoestring. I have said it before in a different setting. I look for collaborative leaders in these settings, and I'm not getting that here right now from the county. And I'm really surprised by that. And I'm not loving the finger pointing aspect of it. And I guess whether or not it's an election season or not, I'm really frustrated that there's clearly some politicking going on. But we are all equal shareholders and stakeholders in this community. I understand that the county is going to be motivated to save money where they can, but spinning a fire inspection that they asked the city to do after many years of no findings, and seeing the report, we received this report from staff, from the fire marshal, our guys, our fire folks with the findings, and they are relatively minor. So I'm having a really hard time stomaching even talking about cost sharing ideas, because it shouldn't even have come to this, is kind of where I'm at.
I will agree wholeheartedly and nauseatingly with, not for agreeing.
Yeah, that we're here.
But I'm just dreadfully disappointed by this mess. The question that I had for you, Bill, and maybe Officer Sieverding too, the Nez Perce, do we know it can take $250 a year? Is it big enough? Have we talked to them?
I think this is bad leadership that we're seeing from the county. We're partners in trying to govern in Latah County, and they flat out ignored the largest city in the county by doing this. They're fabricating and making up things and using the city of why they need to close it down. That's wrong. Flat out wrong, period. I don't care how you want to look at it. As a representative of the city, being elected by the city, I feel like they're using the city. And I can say that with my platform. And if they want to reach out and have a personal conversation, I welcome it any day. Why have they waited so long? Why wasn't there a plan that discussed multiple options that considered, besides, we're just going to shut it down and not really think about the effects to our partners, but how can we find a solution to get through this? That's what partners do, period. And by just shutting something down without having conversations, that's terrible. And then not the effect of what that's going to do to other communities in our area, just not even Moscow. And then furthermore, we want to be partners in this, and I appreciate our city staff for doing a really good job about following this. We've been communicating. They've kept us informed. Why hasn't the county kept us informed and the other people in the county? I don't know, but maybe this is a blessing that's happening during election season.
Yeah, I think that collaboration is the way to go on solving complex issues. And it seems like a whole half, if not a major part of where collaboration could have been had was just ignored from the conversation, and that's very frustrating. And as Drew was saying, it's going to hurt the surrounding communities, and it's really unfortunate that we're in a place that is the potential future.
The end of this says, what's the proposed action? And it just says receive report and provide staff with direction. And in my opinion, this is a very strange time for this to have happened. It seems like while there are some issues, these issues have been here for a long time, and the fact that they're happening right now makes me just want to wait a little bit to see where we go. So my direction would be that was a really good feedback. Please keep us posted on if the commissioners decide to meet on this and decide and make a decision, because we probably won't know about it because clearly we're not informed. But it'd be great to know what they're thinking about. Good luck, city staff, whoever that might be, with figuring out what that might be. So thank you for the good report, probably not good report. Appreciate the time and effort that went into this, and maybe we can look back on this again, say January. Go from there.
It's rare that the council is so transparent about their emotions on an issue. It's also rare that there would be this level of conflict, so to speak, between the county and the city, which is the county seat. Now, obviously, neither entity has taken further action that I know of beyond conversations. The jail is still operating, as far as I'm aware, and the city only just had its meeting on the subject, so what else is there to talk about? The county, in its initial conversation with its own leadership, framed itself as objective in trying to field all possibilities for the future of the jail in lieu of the recent findings. The city, in their conversation with their leadership, framed themselves as being strong-armed by the county and shut out of the larger conversation. Regardless as to which entity is in the right, so to speak, the timing of the conversation is certainly a question that people will raise. The sheriff candidates have absolutely jumped on the situation. Sheriff Skiles has acknowledged that the city should have been more involved in the conversation and wants to both keep the conversation going and keep the jail open as long as possible. He hopes to get it fixed soon so that, if another candidate gets elected, they don't have to inherit the problem. James Fry and Chris Middleton both have asserted that this situation should have been addressed sooner, with the jail being a subject of concern for years prior. If it had been addressed earlier, perhaps ARPA funds could have been directed to fix the problem. Indeed, other possible questions people will ask are financial in nature. How is this jail situation not incorporated into the county budget? Why is the city running on a shoestring budget for law enforcement when its total budget is virtually triple the size of the county total budget? Who's going to take the fall when it comes to paying for whatever comes next? Maybe these questions are unfair and reactionary, but given the response from the city council, should we be expecting anything less? There's not enough information going around to clear the air on the subject, and there could be solid reasons for why that is the case. The county moves slowly on things in general, and they've got a lot going on already with early voting in full swing. The only thing I'll push for in this circumstance is transparency. If you want to limit reactionary thinking when it comes to government decisions, make sure you put more information out there. That's all I got for you this week. It does seem like we're just seeing raw reactions at this point. Once further actions are taken either by the city or the county, we'll have a lot more to discuss here, and we'll do our best to make sure y'all have access to the conversation in our own pursuit of transparency. As always, we'll have the relevant links posted with this video, and if you have any questions, please reach out. I'm Aiden Anderson with the Moscow Minutes. We'll see you next time.